Hi everyone and welcome back to another episode of Professional Weapons in Advanced Warfare. Now this one might not be useful because secondary weapons are only meant to like pull out very quickly and just finish off a guy. That's what they're meant for, but you can use them as a primary if you don't have an actual primary in your weapon class. But what we're taking a look at today is all the professional variants for the Atlas 45 pistol, which all have built-in attachments on them except for the marksman variant, the A3M2, which looks very similar to the Woo, and the Cudgel and the Flogger look very similar. So first of all, yes, damage is affected, and I do want to show off the amount of shots it takes to kill at its maximum range, and in its maximum range, the Atlas 45 pistol will kill in 4 shots, which is awesome because you don't want to have to follow with more shots. But it's a 2-shot up close. It used to be 2, 4, and 4, but it did get buffed to 3 at medium range and then 4 at its long range. But again, this pistol is broken because just like the Amulet, this pistol only has -1 damage, meaning that instead of a 4-bullet kill at long range, it would take a 5-bullet kill at long range. You'd assume that, correct, right? Wrong. Just look at this right here. Especially with a semi-auto weapon, it sucks that the damage is decreased at long range to make it a 6-shot kill, and that's not a good thing at all. So unfortunately the damage is decreased, and it's not a good damage decrease either, so that sucks. So the normal Atlas 45 4-shot at long range, but the A3M2, which is the marksman variant I'm starting with, is a 6-shot at long range instead of a 5. It was supposed to be 5, but for some reason it's a 6, and I don't really know why, but that's the case. So this A3M2 not looking so great with that damage decrease at the start. Now I gotta talk about recoil. The Atlas 45 A3M2 has 10% more recoil, so this is how much the normal pistol kicks. It's very accurate since it's a precision pistol, I guess you'd say. I don't really know. But that's the recoil for that, and this is how much the A3M2 will kick. It will kick up a little bit more. It's basically just more view kick, like, here, hold on. And this is... Yeah, you have more. Okay, it's not so much the recoil that's affected, it's more the view kick when you're hip firing. So like the box will drift up more when using it like akimbo, which is not good for akimbo. So it just for pistols, the accuracy is really just the view kick, and having 10% more is not a good thing because you want the pistol to be accurate if you're gonna finish off a guy. But the thing that you'll see right away, which is the fact that the A3M2 has a 20% tighter hipfire spread, which is good for akimbo because you're not really going to worry about that damage at long range, and it's not as bad as the Huckleberry, which has 20% more view kick. So you can work with it. I mean, you can use this as akimbo. It's an advanced rifling. That's gonna make it a good gun to use. Or extended mags. I prefer the extended mags, honestly, but yes. Oh, not that one. I want the Woo. Woohoo! Alright, so now I'm going to switch the akimbos for these two. Okay. Alright, now I'm going to commit suicide to test out the second one. So now I have akimbo pistols here, and you'll get to see some cool things here, but again, I'm going to go to the same wall. So here we go. Now these are basically the same. You'll see. So this is the next one, which is called the Woo, which immediately you'll see that it has a built-in akimbo attachment, which is fun for pistols. It can be harder to use with semi-auto pistols like the Atlas 45. Like, it's easier to use for guns like the M1 irons, but first off, you will notice when you put on a akimbo attachment, it says it'll bring the accuracy down by 4, and even with this variant, it says it is -1 accuracy, and this is how much the Atlas 45 akimbos will kick when you're hip firing them akimbo. and this is how much these will kick. And the Woo might kick a little bit harder, just to let you guys know. And it also does have a rate of fire increase though, which makes the pistol very spammable. And this is how spammable the normal Atlas is. So here we go. And this is how much this one is spammable. I can't really use my left trigger finger that well, but you will know. But the Atlas 45 Woo is more spammable. Just believe me on that one. And another thing is that it says that it doesn't allow certain attachments, and I will show that at the end. And another thing is that it shows that it has a ammo size decrease, and this is not true. No ammo is decreased for either side of the pistol. What that actually means is that the next up is the Cudgel. What that actually means is that the I'll explain it at the end, but let's go inside this room. This looks like a cool place to test. Alright, so actually I don't need to, but the Cudgel unfortunately has a rate of fire decrease, and this is how spammable the normal Atlas is again. And this is how much you can spam the Cudgel. I'll do that again. Okay, yeah, you see I'm oversampling it, so it's easy to it's a little bit easier to oversample the Cudgel variant because it's got, you know, rate of fire decrease. It's a very spammable pistol if you try to spam it as hard as you can. It oversamples very little, but this one will oversample a little bit more than normal. And what it has for benefits is +1 handling, which results at 10% tighter hipfire spread, which there actually is a 10% tighter hipfire there, along with a laser sight to make it even more tighter. And you'll definitely notice the difference that the hipfire is tighter for the Cudgel variant than it is for which is pretty good. I mean, the pistols are better at hipfire than assault rifles, but the bad thing about that is you see how tight the hipfire is, and you see, okay, good, it has no view kick. Can I put a Kimbo on it? Unfortunately, you cannot put a Kimbo on a gun that already has a laser sight, and that's very unfortunate. Especially, and I don't know why that is, especially since variants like the XMG and SAC-3 allow lasers, so I really don't know why that is. But the last variant that we are going to look at is the Flogger, which I consider to be the best Atlas 45 Professional and Atlas 45 in the game. Again, we're going to show off how spammable the rate of fire is for the normal Atlas 45, because this one does have a rate of fire increase, the Flogger. And here we go. So I don't know the exact RPM number, so don't quote me on it, but you can tell me nicely, but just don't be like, oh, you don't know the rate of fire, so drifter is so much better. I'm just doing this for myself, but this is how spammable the normal Atlas is. I oversampled that easily, but here we go again. And this is how much you can spam the Flogger. Crap. Hold on, let me do that again. Alright, you can spam the Flogger a little bit more, but you have to work hard. You really won't notice these fire decreases or increases, or maybe, but I wouldn't worry about it too much. You really want to worry about damage on this pistol, and unfortunately there's no damage increase on the Atlas 45 on any variant. And unfortunately, the Flogger does have a range decrease, which I think may affect your 2-shot kill range or 3-shot kill range. I'm not really sure. The 2-shot kill range is longer than it was before, but it's still short. But I'm not really sure what the 2-shot kill range is for the Atlas. But one range is decreased for the Flogger, which I'm not even going to get into that because I don't know the exact range. And it also comes with a free red dot sight, which is good. I mean, I like the red dot sight. I like using the red dot sight. The iron sights are workable, but they're a little bit clunkier. They're too small, and they're not really made for long ranges. You can actually go for long range with the red dot sight, which is why, which is almost as useful as a primary that just kills in 2, 3, 4 shots. Mark 14, unless you get headshots. But anyways, that's the Atlas 45 Professionals, and I will go quit to show you guys something else. there is no loss in ammo with the Woo variant. It just means that if you run like two Akimbos at the same time, it cuts down on your reserve ammo, and like normally you'd have 10 in the current and 30 in the reserve, but with the Akimbo it brings it to 20 in the reserve. So one thing about the Cudgel, you cannot put certain attachments like you cannot put tactical or akimbo on it for the Cudgel. In the Flogger, you can't put any other optics because there's already an optic on there. The Flogger, you cannot put akimbo on it, but you can put a red dot sight, but you cannot put akimbo on the Flogger variant, which sucks. But it's not tightened anyway. The Woo, you can't put any optics on the Woo, which I guess that's why what they meant by attachment restrictions. They're like no optics. You can't put a laser sight because it's akimbo pistols. You can't put parabolic mic either. So you can only put 3 attachments on the Woo. And so that's what that emblem means. And the ammo decrease is a lie. It doesn't really mean that. It'll still, when you put akimbo on the normal Atlas, it'll still do the same thing. So the ammo decrease is a lie like it shows it is. And the A3M2 has less damage at long range and more view kick for tighter hip fire. And my ratings on this: Flogger best, Cudgel number 2, Woo number 3, and then I'm gonna put A3M2 at number 4. I just don't really like the A3M2 that much. And see you for the next episode, which you've all been waiting for, the Battle 27 Professionals. I'll see you guys later.